Hello, once again, NSU Spartan fans, Joe Cook and the head coach of the women's basketball team, Debra Clark, right by my side as always as we recap the last game and look at the last 3 regular season games for the Spartans, all on the road. But first, talking about that senior day victory, a very big win for the Spartans, 78-73 win in overtime. And what a way to send out the seniors with some big games and performances by the seniors.
And that was really important to us, and that was part of the pregame talk. You know, they're going to remember their last home game. We wanted them to have a favorable memory of that game, and it was just really nice to see that the two of them were very integral parts of our comeback. Whitney, the second half, I can't say I've ever seen anything like that, 27 points in one half of basketball. So I was glad that they were very involved in the win. We were victorious, and it was a nice celebration. We had a lot of people come to the game. The Girl Scouts were here. A lot of other young youth were here that came back to meet the girls in the locker room. So it was just a great day. And again, I'm really happy for the two of them to really play extremely well.
And they did, and they needed to. I mean, that game was pretty memorable, coming back from 20 points down with about 45, I believe, in the second half.
Right.
And then Whitney goes off, and then when it gets to overtime, Corbo is able to get things going as well. And a little bit of everything happened in that game.
And it was a team effort, and I told them that I was real proud of their effort to come back, but you know, from a coach's perspective, I don't like that much. Right. It's a good game for a fan, not a good game for a coach. And, you know, it's so funny because going into the game, we told them, you know, because we played them well last time, they understand that they've been playing a lot better since we played them last. The same Delaware State team you saw in Delaware is not going to be here. And sometimes, you know, experience is the best teacher. So at the half, we were down 9, and we challenged them to step up. We came out second half still a little sluggish, but I guess at 20 points down, they decided, oh, now we have to play.
Right.
And they did. So I was just glad we got the win, because that was a huge game for us as far as the standings.
Yeah, and when you look at that game, you saw like almost all the aspects of the game that you want your team to bring together in a full 40 minutes. I mean, Whitney Long catches fire in the second half, scoring 25 points. She finished with 27. Corbo came alive in overtime. At the beginning of the game, Batavia Owens was the guy that's really started inside early and often. Then that full court press was applied and caused a lot of turnover.
Right, and that was what we were successful with when we went to Delaware State. Only thing, the first half of this game, I don't think we were as aggressive as we needed to be, and as you know, intensive we needed to be for the press to be effective. But for whatever reason, they decided to play the second half. I'm glad they did.
Yeah, and looking at, you know, this team after that win, and you know, seeing them at the next practice, you know, how can you tell this win has added, I guess you could say, more energy, or have they used that win as almost a teaching and a learning tool?
Well, they have. They've enjoyed the win, and they've come to practice just, I think, a little bit more focused and understand what they have to do. The big test will be when we get on the road tomorrow down to Florida, because it's really hard to assimilate what we're going to see in the games in practice. Right. So hopefully, you know, they have all their motivation and their confidence going to down to Bethune-Cookman first. I mean, they're a slot ahead of us in the standings, so that's a big game for us. You know, the other 2 games we play in Florida A&M, North Carolina T, again, 2 teams ahead of us in the standings. So if we're successful against them, we could, you know, increase our position. That's the goal right now, to finish strong and have some momentum going into the tournament.
Playing against Bethune-Cookman this Saturday so far, the Spartans do have a 4-6 road record. Cookman was 6-7 in the MEAC, 9-16 overall. Cookman is coming off of 2 wins over South Carolina and Savannah State. Ball control going to be very important in that game, because they do lead the MEAC in steals about 11 a game.
Right, they're very aggressive defensively. They have a lot of not your traditional post player. They have 3 6-footers that they're starting the front line in their guards. So everybody's agile and mobile, and playing good defense is one of their strengths. Our key is to take care of the basketball, handle the pressure, and then execute in the offensive end.
You think about the Wildcats, you know, think about Demetria Frank and Jasmine Elam. 12.7 points per game for Frank. She also leads the MEAC in steals, and Elam 12.5 points per game. So they really have a 1-2 punch there.
They really do, and Frank being she's a guard, but she's the top rebounder
As well, yeah.
on the team. So that's a factor with us. You know, rebounding is going to be a real key factor because we're going to have to box her out. And with Frank and Elam both, they both have a game driving to the basket as well as shooting the three. So we're going to have to really be solid on the perimeter, contest shots, and keep them out of the paint off the dribble drive.
Yeah, you know, Rachel Gordon and Patavia Owens, the rebounding will be huge because we say, oh, their guards are leading rebounders. Like, what are the post players doing?
Right,
you know what I mean?
right. And they get it done. They don't average a lot of rebounds, but as a unit, they crash the boards well. And they move really well laterally. They're quick off their feet, so it's going to be important that we box them out and keep them off the boards because we can't give them second and third chances.
Then the next game on the road against FAMU, second in the MEAC, 12-1, 19-6 overall. They've been number one for a few weeks, and the number one scoring team in the MEAC, but they do play Hampton in a big game before we do go to FAMU. And we'll be going against one of the best players in the MEAC, 17.8 points per game, second in rebounding, and she's also second in rebounding. Rachel Gordon's probably have like her hands full there.
We are going to have our hands full because Antonia Bennett, the leading scorer for them, she's 6-footer, but she plays from the three-point line in.
Yeah.
So she can hurt you with the 3-point, she can hurt you down the post. Outstanding rebounder. She's like a half a rebound behind Rachel in the standings. So we know we got our hands full with her. And then Kiana Donald, who's playing the center for them, the third rebounder in the league at 9.2, I think, rebounds a game. Really, really great offensive rebounder. So again, in the post, rebounding is going to be key. Rebounding is going to be key.
And also have Kimberly Spartman. She's also a three-point threat. She's second in MEAC and made 3-pointers behind Chosita McMillan over there at Hampton. So a challenge at all positions, but when you look at that, especially that full-court press and the team defense that this team is playing, like, we have a chance to go off the rack.
I think we have a good chance because they're going to press, and the key for us is to not be intimidated by their press and attack their press.
Right.
Teams that are successful attack the press, go to score, and then they'll come out of it. And in our defense, I think if we pressure them, a lot of times teams that press don't like to be pressed.
Yeah.
I think if we press them and are efficient with what we do, we can force some turnovers and score some and create some easy scoring opportunities for ourselves. But I think that the biggest thing against the FAMU game is that they have a lot of good individual players, and I think our key is for us to play well as a team. Our strengths and our numbers. We don't rely on just one person. As a unit, offensively and then defensively, we're going to have to be really, really good.
Definitely key there for the Spartans. And then in the season finale against A&T, 7-6 in the MEAC, 12-14 overall. Jaquela Barely leads them with 15.3 points per game, about 9 rebounds. So another big post matchup as well.
Right, and I told the girls yesterday, you know, the next 3 games, rebounding. The next 3 teams are good rebounding teams. The next 3 teams will press you. North Carolina A&T, they're going to be full court press, 3-quarter press, half court press. Again, we're going to have to be real strong in handling the presses. I think we do that, and again, scoring the offensive end, it'll be important. But on the road, it's tough. I mean, North Carolina A&T is one of the toughest venues to play in the league. So we have to get out there, be poised, be confident, and do what we're supposed to do.
And it almost seems like you just said, the team, you know, they like to press, but they don't like to be pressed because they average 22.5 turnovers a game.
Exactly.
So that's something you can expect.
Exactly. So that's our plan. We're going to go out there, you know, make sure our press is intact, everybody where they're supposed to be, and force some turnovers and get some easy scoring opportunities for us.
And also a team effort will be on the rebounding department. They are the best rebounding team in the MEAC. We look at some of the numbers, and it's going to be great for, you know, Whitney Law and Taysha Bridges to get, you know, maybe 5, 6, 7 rebounds by boxing out the perimeter.
And it's important, and the people, you talk about rebound, you talk about your post players, but, you know, our guards are going to have to help the post also. A lot of times, the guards have a tendency to stand and watch. We need them to crash the offensive glass and keep their top people off their defensive glass.
So what are, as we wrap up here, what are some of the, I guess, key things that you want your team to do, given these last 3 games all on the road?
Well, I really think, first of all, defense is going to be important. Whatever defense we play, we have to do a better job of defending without fouling, containing people, keep the ball out of the paint, off the dribble drive, off the shot. post defense, perimeter defense. I think that's going to be important. And then limiting teams to one shot, which goes back to us boxing out and controlling the boards. Most of the time when we win the rebounding war, we win the game. So that's what we have to continue to do. And again, execute on offense. A couple of games where we had scoring droughts, we weren't successful. So it's a combination of a lot of things, and then finally take care of the basketball. We got to keep our turnovers to a minimum.
All right, so the Spartans can do that and end the season on a very strong note and play some great team basketball on the road. For more on NSU's women's basketball team, find it right here at NSUSpartans.com.